With Ian Evans and Miles Harrison.
Last season, Saracens went out at this stage totally overwhelmed by Clermont-Auvergne, but this season there's a full bill of health for the run-in, and perhaps even more importantly, a belief that their game, their minds are in a much better place now. Ulster showed exactly what they can do away from home in the quarter-final last season, and they're in a much better place after their win last week against Leinster. Saracens side, England's Mako Vunipola at 1, with a now internationally retired Matt Stevens on the tight head. Hooker Scott Brits brought back into the international fold by South Africa last autumn. Captain Steve Borthwick heads up the most successful line-out in the competition today. Springbok Alistair Hargreaves also locks. The back row is Kelly Brown, the Scotland captain. Will Fraser, tipped by many to be an England tourist in the summer, and Ernst Joubert, the former club captain. Richard Wigglesworth and Owen Farrell are the 9-10 combination, the partnership that played in Nantes, so no Charlie Hodgson to start. Brad Barrett and Joel Tompkins were the two centre starters in that amazing win in France. David Strettle didn't last too long in that game, but he's long been fit again. And with Chris Ashton provides an England international wing team. Indeed, England back three, as Alex Good is fullback. Only Joel Tompkins of the back line hasn't been capped by England, and many think that will change in the very near future. As I said, Ulster fresh from their first win against Leinster in Dublin for 14 years. And they call on Tom Court, John Arfoa, back from New Zealand after the birth of his third child, and Rory Best, and they form the Ulster front row. Captain Johan Muller and Dan Toohey, the second row. Of course, no Stephen Ferris, the ultimate star of last season's epic win against Munster at this stage, but Ulster have Ian Henderson back from injury, Chris Henry at open side, and Nick Williams recovered from his knee problem to play at number 8. Ruan Pienaar and Paddy Jackson are the halfbacks. Pienaar the kicker last week, and it worked very well. Luke Marshall is back from his Six Nations concussion to soften the continued absence of Paddy Wallace, and he partners Darren Cave. And the Ireland internationals keep on coming, with Craig Gilroy and Andrew Trimble on the wings, and Jared Payne, the man who missed out last season, is fullback. Zebo tomorrow and Tommy Bowe today. Ireland's wingers coming back, and they need these big Rolls-Royce European occasions for a Lions showroom. Tommy Bowe, yes, on the Ulster bench, damaged his knee in the home defeat to Northampton in December, but he comes back this evening to give Ulster a major boost.
Looking at this game between Saracens and Ulster, we always thought the most intriguing game of this whole weekend, and that morale-boosting win last week against Leinster for Ulster really has brought an element of doubt to the outcome of this game, and the return of key players out there. And these key players certainly have to stand up today, because on the opposite side of Saracens, the Wolf Pack, they by very nature prey on the weak, the vulnerable and the isolated. They can't afford to do that. Ulster need to be collectively at the game today, because Saracens are looking in great nick, both physically and mentally at the moment.
Both sides saying 50-50 and actually meaning it. And many thousands have made the trip over from the north of Ireland. Ulster and their fans back on the ground where in May they suffered the agony of defeat. But this squad, their squad, vowed then to make that appearance on Cup final day, not just a one-off. And they started the season so strongly, certainly no hangover, 13 from 13, lost their way a bit. But with players coming back, Ulster looked the part again in Dublin last week. And Ireland's current number 10, in the absence of Johnny Sexton, Paddy Jackson, a young man who was thrust into the lead role for Ulster last season, right at the end of the competition. A year older, a year wiser, internationally too.
And listen to the roar from the Ulster faithful as well, and they'll be hopeful But that man, Nick Williams, leads them over the game line. Tyrone talked to me before the game. So important when you play against a pack mentality like Saracens. You go across the game line and give that good quality ball. His physical presence is really key for Ulster today.
Ulster's mascot, Finlay Marriott, his brother James will come out with Saracens, so a very special day for them. Coming here to Twickenham, because Saracens, their new stadium, not big enough to host days like these just yet. They know they've rather allowed Ulster in to create their atmosphere, but this is a ground where Saracens feel comfortable. They've won the English Premiership here, and at the start of the season they put 40 points on London Irish here. Another Irish team stands in their way of a second Heineken Cup semi-final. And Owen Farrell returns to a ground that he already knows so well, like Paddy Jackson, 21 years of age. And this is a competition that Farrell has really made his mark on this season. A record 10 penalty goals in Nantes.
Right, now that tough mentality is going to be important. But a tough man in the front row, Marco Vinipola, his carrying ability to get across that game and his stepping ability, really, this front row for Saracens remind me of Leinster when they had Richard Strauss and Cian Healy carrying the ball so effectively. They are strike weapons for the Saracens. And one thing of Vinipola, but he's also got a tough battle up against John Afoa in the scrum as well. He has to remember what he has to do in that element as well as carrying the ball.
We could have a record crowd for a UK-based quarter-final in this great competition. If not, we're going to be very close. We've certainly got an occasion and an atmosphere. And the man in charge is Romain Poit, who took charge of the 2011 final in Cardiff. He's just about ready to. It's a home country semi-final for the winner. Saracens will be back here at Twickenham. Ulster will go to Dublin, of course, the venue for the final two. What incentive then for both sides, if any extra is required, which I'm sure it's not. Tremendous noise for the players as they came out. They would have felt that. And now they have to settle into their game on this big game day. Picked up by Court. Pienaar to our forward. Landed on Wednesday, back from New Zealand. Baby Violet stays in New Zealand. Father John to play his part here, and defensively now as Tompkins goes wide. That may have been a little forward, but Ashton trying to come back to form. Fine score against Wasps, fine finish last week. Matt Stevens. Wigglesworth to Vunipola. And there's Jijn's point about Stevens and Vunipola, used as those early carriers in the move. That's Brad Barrett. Wigglesworth again, dropped by Borthwick. But it's not too bad for the home side, because referee Poit has given the first penalty of the game, and it's virtually in front of the post, Farrell's England post.
Look at this aggressive press. Always great line speed, push up, no place at all to go. They're there, they descend, they sniff an opportunity, turn over ball, and away they go. Terrific start by Saracens. Looking to give Ashton a quick early pass, get some ability to run, get some confidence back in those legs as well. But all down to defensive press and the line speed and getting the forwards involved. Good early pass, move away. When you turn over the ball, 2-3 passes quickly away when defences aren't set.
I think it was just forward there from Tompkins going wide to Ashton. Could easily have been called back.
Also, they have to be aware of that quick line speed in midfield. They have to carry the ball.
First point Saracens though. 2 minutes gone, and it's Owen Farrell. 32 he scored against Racing Metro in Nantes. 11 from 11 on the day. Majestic.
And the hunger that Saracens showed in that opening minute paid his dividends. Nice, easy kick. That was a goal kicker once, Miles. Start of the game, a nice, easy win in front of the post.
Jackson gets us up and running again. So a kick-off and a restart for Ulster already. Wigglesworth off his favoured side. Big Nick Williams, verging on 19 stones. Jared Payne missed out on all the fun when injured last season on the way to the final. And of course the final itself, that wasn't so much fun for Ulster. And nor was that.
Well, a little bit scrappy there. It was a nice step from Jared Payne, beating our first man. You know you're going to get a chase, but the step is key. You have to beat that first man, and you get good 2-3 yards after the tackle, and that's so important. Again, a little bit scrappy thereafter, but it's so important that the full-back shows that conviction and strength to beat the first man.
Controversial sin bin at the end last week for Jared Payne against Leinster. Even more controversial end to the game, of course, with that bizarre decision to go to the television match official after the full-time whistle had been blown. But no matter in the end, Ulster got their win, and Mark McCaw was saying this week for 70 minutes they were clearly the better team anyway.
Clearly the better team. A really surreal final 5 minutes, there's no doubt, and I agree with you. A ridiculous decision to send in Jared Payne there, but the right side won in the end. Ulster were the better side for a good 75 minutes.
What a great reply last night from Leinster against Wasps. You sense this one is going to be a bit tighter. We're in the Heineken Cup now, quarter-final stage, and there's a lot to lose. Joubert on the floor. Wigglesworth and Farrell over the head of Gilroy, and too much on the kick from Owen Farrell. And Gilroy goes sprinting up the touchline just in case. Let's go down to the front line.
A real early example of how much emphasis Saracens put on their kick chase. Wigglesworth puts it up. Williams has an opportunity. You can see the Ulster guys getting back, trying to counter-attack. But watch Barrett. He says, there's no way you're getting it across there. I'm going to force Payne to have to counter-attack into our chain.
Hands in from Saracens. And there's Fraser. Such a good line out. It was 94% success rate at the start of the day. Of course, stealing as well on opposition ball. Really has worked well, led by Borthwick. Not just the captain of the side, but the line-out leader too.
Stay there! Stop!
High ball from Farrell. And Payne, and Kelly Brown is there. Pienaar. Jackson. Ulster look to go from here. Lost by Darren Cave. Through goes Marshall on Ashton. Picked up by Vunipola. And the whistle goes for the knock-on.
Ulster nearly take the chances, and a turnover ball. Quick ball away. Good claim by Jared Payne. And you've got to move the ball away quickly from that, but you've got to hold on to it. And there's a couple of unforced errors turning over the ball. They can't afford to lose possession, because you've already seen from that line out, Saracens stole Ulster ball. You have to hold on to the ball against Saracens.
3 quarter-finals in a row now, of course, for Ulster. Defeated by Northampton in Milton Keynes, and that famous win against Munster at Thomond Park last season. After all those years of failing to qualify since they won the title. Way back in 1999. Saracens, this a 3rd quarter-final. Successful once before at this stage. And successful there off the base was Joubert, had to be.
Had to be good scrum by Ulster.
And they get the penalty in the end. They may have got it at the scrum. They get it in the end at the breakdown.
It was an early mark of the Saracens in the line out, but certainly an early tick in the box for Ulster at the scrum.
Thanks, Nathan.
It's going to be a key part of the game. As the scrums ready to nudge on the move. They really are driving through. Puts a lot of pressure on Joubert. Joubert did well to rescue it at all, but then the penalty was conceded. But certainly a scrum, a big opportunity there for Ulster.
It was Brits coming out and not Best, and Best now has a chance to throw. Good throw to Henderson. Pienaar to Gilroy. That magical moment against Munster in the quarter-final. Can he reproduce that today? If he does, we'll see something special. Pienaar again to Jackson. This is a chance for Luke Marshall. Over those nasty blows towards the end of the Six Nations. Yes, Italy and also France took a knock in that game too, didn't they? Pienaar and Ulster starting to get into their game here.
Plenty of options for the halfbacks, lots of available runners.
But there's that Wolfpack mentality.
You stay.
Got the scent of that one, didn't they? And Andrew Trimble has a long way to go back. A lot of talk this weekend of the firm ground. Been so cold. It's lovely surface out there though today, and what is a spring-like evening at last, made for running rugby if they want to run it. Vunipola to Brits. Little dummy gives it to Tompkins, on to Strettle. Good tackle comes in from Arfoa, no jet lag there.
Oh, very vigorous in the tackle, as you would expect.
Scrum.
Big hits all around the field. Vunipola getting around the field as well. Big hit, driving back in the tackle with Barrett as well. Gets up on his feet, steals the ball as well. Double hit, that's what you want. One up, one down, and stealing the ball. Great work by Vunipola. He saw Ulster starting to get the rhythm going there. First he used Gilroy off the wings, they used Trimble and Gilroy off the wings quite often, then Williams. How important Vunipola is to Saracens. 4 carries already in the game. 8 minutes, 9 minutes into the game.
Crutch. Touch. Set.
Drive on early from Ulster. Need to be careful. Referee thought about it.
He did have a little think about that one.
Pienaar got the ball in just in time. Williams just held also at the base there. Pienaar.
Winger onside.
Such a relaxed and calming influence for this Ulster side. Pienaar at 9. Trimble. He's had a strong season, 9 tries already. Previous best in a season 10, so he's well on the way
Away.
to surpassing that total. Andrew Trimble. Williams again, the covering man.
Stay wide.
And Payne, another one of the overseas signings. Here's Wigglesworth.
Black stop.
Cagey bit of kick tennis between the two sides here. Gilroy. Pienaar. It's about picking that moment to go. Ulster might have done it if Tui can get the ball away, which he can't.
Ashton did well to step in, he needed to make that tackle.
He's going down his flank though, and Payne looked to show quick hands and can't.
14, wrong way.
Referee penalises, I think it was Ashton. Quick tap. He's on his own here though. Around Pienaar. Chris Henry helps out as the acting scrum half.
It's a great pace in this game.
Carry from Williams, but loses the ball in the challenge, and Tompkins finds Ashton, who looks straight to the referee when he comes to the floor. I don't think he's going to get any joy.
See what else they're trying to do. They're trying to get that offloading game going. There's 1 or 2 50-50, and that time Nick Williams had done the hard part. He got over the game line, pulled in defenders. There's Williams, so strong, shrugs off second rows. He's looking, there's no way that offloader's on there. 3 Saracens players hold on to it, created the space out wide. He pulled in defenders, lay the ball back quickly.
Ashton got the shoulder as well, didn't he? See why he was looking to the ref. And that one's not worked at all. Just trying to be too clever for their own good there, Ulster.
Yeah, it's that little balance between having that willingness to try things, showing that ambition, but also having an element of composure as well, and calm when it's needed.
Stay in, guys. Walk.
Another feel for the game. And that wasn't even close to crossing the 22.
Comes off, it looks magnificent, but clearly didn't come off.
But going back to the Leinster game, which you touched on earlier on, Miles, Paddy Jackson is so effective when he carries the ball to the gang line and he brings the runners on. And that was good to see. That shows he's back in, getting the confidence back in his game.
Touch!
Well, confidence is helpful. He's not goal kicking as well, but I do like that about him. When he does attack the gang line, he does bring the back line onto him very well, and he caused Leinster all sorts of problems because of that.
Both sides are coming together.
Both sides engaging before the set call there. Finish 42-14. Ulster fans will need no reminding of the fact in the final here last season.
Touch!
But they have the experience of playing here. Not a great experience, but they have it in the bank. And they have the experience of going to the final. Saracens very mindful of that. Here they go with Tompkins. Good strength from the former Wigan man. Strettle tries to put it inside. In doing so, the ball goes forward. But you could see there the threat posed by Tompkins. Dean.
Early signs, there's a few problems for Saracens in the front row, and it's Matt Stevens up against Tom Court. He's trying to protect himself by going in, but Tom Court's got so much power that Stevens can't keep that right-hand shoulder down, and the power's just pouring through.
His court is straight. Stevens anything but.
In fact, Ern Joubert did very well in the back of that retreating scrum to get that ball away and gave an opportunity for Tompkins. And that offloading game with Tompkins really has brought another dimension to this Sarries team.
Touch! 3 black.
Well, I swear I heard the S of set.
3 black too early. All right, thank you.
It really is a marginal call, isn't it? It's gone against Matt Stevens, and interesting, it was Stevens that it went against. He's feeling the heat, as Dean pointed out, from Tom Court.
He's trying to go in early. Romo has always been fairly strict on that. They have to wait for his word. We talk about that front row and their ability to offload and carry on the field, and they are a very dynamic front row of Vunipola, Brits and Stevens, but also you've got to be able to hold up that scrum as well, because this is a powerful Ulster scrum in the moment. And the return of Johan Muller and John O'Fall right back on Thursday after flying 8,000 miles from New Zealand for the birth of his child.
Down from Joubert. Already with Farrell. Strettles off that wing as well. Chance here to see Tompkins once more, blazing forward the centre. Gives it quickly to Wigglesworth, and Sarries look to pounce down that. It wasn't really a short side, it was a lovely central position for Wigglesworth. It's marginally the blind side. And that's what the scrum half wants, and he'll keep defences stretched and guessing. It was good ball, but credit to Ulster, they snuffed it out and then turned it over, and now Pienaar kicks long. Very long, and that bounces off this firm ground. Strettle really had no choice.
That's good yardage, all from that choke tackle once again, and hopefully we see Irish provinces utilise that tackle. Good quality line of ball. And look at the run, the timing of the run from Tompkins is all about holding the depth. Don't pressurise the passer, you wait, allow him to gather himself, and then time that to perfection. Lovely break by Tompkins already. That's 4 tackles, 4 carries already in the game for Tompkins. Been very evident in the game so far. Good timing to that run. And that's been an element of Saracens' game that sometimes has been frustrating. That fluidity, that fluency in the backline hasn't quite been there.
Twice.
A free kick, I think that was for the dummy throw.
On the line, please.
The scrum has gone well, but the line out has creaked a little bit in this game. And Rory Best didn't have the greatest of Six Nations with the line out throwing. And that won't give an awful lot of confidence.
Also taking a long time to get that one in.
You stay blue, white.
But we are talking about probably the best line out club side in Europe, well, that is no doubt. Pride themselves, Saracens, on that.
Brits takes quickly. Wise move, because Alex Good is there to return with a bit of interest, but still Ulster will throw into this line-out.
It's too long.
And here's
to
Dean
set
again.
The line out for your team.
Ulster's defence just a little bit tight. You've got Best and Henry coming off the back, but Jackson comes in for the same man. That drags Marshall, allows Strettle around the outside, and that's where Tompkins gets his space from.
Eyes on Best here. He's got the experience, though, to cope with a little misdemeanour. And he's straight back on the horse, isn't he? That's Marshall. Paddy Wallace out for the season, but getting Luke Marshall back is...
Seven, make
Pienaar's
sure
pass
you're
looked a
onside,
little
not
bit
too long
forward
on the
there.
side.
Marshall has impressed me. Very low centre of gravity, but he's got strong legs, big step on him.
Although a low centre of gravity too, and he used it there. Henry needs a little bit of help. Gets it down on the floor for Pienaar. Jackson playing territory into the corner. Where will it break? Now the pressure's on another hooker. Wearing the colours of Saracens, Scope Brits.
Nice variety in the game, nice mix. They use the ball carriers, look to go wide and then bring a kick in and slow ball as well. But good variety. The likes of John O'Fowler to drive the ball up. And they wait, not an awful lot on. Plenty defensive numbers there. Big gaps behind. That's what you want from the outside half. Look up, see the geography, where's the space, and keep that mix going. So just push his wings back a little further.
Brits going for the long one. Off the news now. And news well.
Stay back. Yazet! No, you stop.
Wigglesworth shaping to pass. No. Moves into the box kick quickly. And it was more than a box. It was a decent angle to touch.
Yeah, it's a good clearance kick from Wigglesworth. Under pressure there in the shadow of his posts. Good distance there. Needed to get that ball off the field.
Very much on the England radar, but of course, Ben Youngs, Danny Kerr, Will Dixon nestling in behind, but Wigglesworth form has been good, hasn't dropped at all. They keep knocking on that door. Might open up a little bit. Ooh. Williams has got all headbang runners.
Not straight, once.
Jackson. Trimble. Referee holding out an arm. Penalty coming here for Ulster, and Pienaar says thanks, we'll have it. And he'll be the man to take it. There's Muller points at the post.
Yeah, look, a bit of period of pressure here from Ulster on Saracens. They need to get some points in the back of it. It's always going to be a tight game, 3-0 so far, 20 minutes into the game. There's always going to be a little bit of give and take here. So aggressive around that tackle area. I think both sides are already found as well. You don't go wide too early. You have to commit defences in, pick up and goes around the fringes, just to pull in defenders and create that space further out wide. So many big, powerful ball carriers there for both sides today.
Mentioned Saracens' line-out, the contrast between that and Ulster's line-out, 94% to 74%, it's a big one. Big contrast also with goal kicking. Saracens as a team, 88% in this competition, Ulster, 57%. I think they've got Pienaar and Jackson, but Pienaar's got the responsibility here, as was the case in Dublin last week. Relieving Jackson of that extra pressure, but showing why that percentage in this competition has been so low. That's a bad miss from Pienaar.
That is a bad miss, well within his range. The kick you would want. It's a little bit far out, but nevertheless, that should have been nailed. I'm frustrated around Pienaar. And in a game that's always going to be over small margins, you need to get those points.
Should be 3-3, it's not. Ali's good, calling for the mark.
There.
As Paddy Jackson received a bit of criticism of late. Of course, Ian Madigan fans, we saw what Madigan can do last night at Adams Park, but Jackson, much admired by his captain here, Ulster, Johan Molo. In many ways, he says that Jackson is the brains, the calming influence of the team, even more so than Pienaar, which is a great accolade to have.
I think a lot of the criticism has been unfair as well. Yes, his goal kicking is not of the elite level, that is no doubt. But an outside-half also depends on the quality of ball in front of him. And at times, Ireland and Ulster, over the last month, haven't provided him with the quality possession that he would enjoy. When he gets good quality ball, as any outside-half you're going to do, you're on your toes, running forward, joining defenders, and that's when he's at his best.
There he is. Well, this might be a test up. It's on the angle, out to the wing. And two Ulster players there in Payne and Gilroy almost getting in each other's way. There's Kelly Brown. It's another penalty.
First man.
Roman Poit right there.
First man on feet. First man. Thank you. Shot.
Fourth penalty that Saracens have conceded. It was the last one led to a kicking shot, and this one will as well.
There's a high kick from the first phase, high kick into the corner, trying to put pressure on Chris Ashton. The chase is there from Gilroy and from Payne. Ashton as well, actually, and looking for the offload. That's an element of the Saracens game that has evolved, certainly this season. They're looking, the latter part of this season anyway, looking to keep that offloading game going. But we saw there, right from the first phase ball, a willingness to try and attack Saracens on the wings. Put high ball, get the chase going, because you know with Trimble and Gilroy, they will chase well.
Love this one, wouldn't he? Having missed that one just moments ago, it would erase it. Much more difficult kick, though. As you can see. Post all the way, wasn't it? We had a perfect view. And it's been knocked forward by Steve Borthwick, and he'll be really annoyed about that. Consoling taps come in from his teammates, but Pienaar having missed the kick. Saracens were presented with a chance to clear there, but it's never easy, is it? Comes bouncing back off those posts.
You can tell from that kick, didn't quite strike it well. It wasn't quite an unhealthy sound when he kicked that. He's going to run out of steam. But again, a little panic a little bit from Steve Borthwick there. Didn't need a panic. And this now has given Ulster a good position to attack with a powerful scrum.
Touch!
It's a bit of a desperate lunge in the end. So Pienaar really won't mind if Ulster score from here. The misses will have actually worked for his side. Pienaar goes himself, almost as if he's trying to make amends all by himself there. Muller arrives. His drive is stopped by opposing captain Borthwick. Alfoa's right in there. Tui as well. Switch to Jackson. Hands will have to be good, and Payne decides against that. Pienaar. Saracens swarming everywhere in defence, but it still might break for Henderson. Aggressive commitment coming in from the Saracens. But they have conceded another penalty. Will Fraser this time. And where is Roman Poit ending up? Well, surely Rowan Pienaar gets this.
To compliment the defence of Saracens there, man. They weren't prepared to give any time at all for Ulster to gather themselves there. Good scrum from the Saracens that side. That time, again, the drive came from Rowan Pienaar. But again, no commitment at all to the breakdown from Saracens. They kept their numbers out. And that's important in the modern game. You scan, if you're not going to win that ball, get out to there, get back, realign, they realign quickly. And there was no space at all for Ulster to score.
7 here. Thank you, thank you.
But this is a very kickable 3 points. But it could have been 7. Saracens weren't prepared for that to happen.
So at last it's 3-3. Pienaar the man given the kicking duties, because also wanted to take a little bit of the pressure away from Paddy Jackson. The pressure was building on Rowan Pienaar there, but of course he was never going to miss that. 3-3 it is.
And Ulster needed it as well. They needed to get a point. They needed some return on the pressure they put on Saracens. It is important you keep that scoreboard ticking over. And with all the territory and possession they were enjoying, you have to get some points on the board.
Oh, Jackson taken down there by Barrett. And it really works. Great chase from Barrett, thundering tackle on the Ulster 10.
Sitting on 5 wide.
Look at the chase there. Numbers are getting there to the breakdown. Barrett is there leading that, as always. Timed it to perfection, back on his feet, forcing it as well. They're there. Brits is there, Barrett is there. They're there in numbers. That's how they hunt, that pack mentality. They're there in numbers, forcing mistakes, squeezing the opposition, forcing the turnovers, forcing the penalty. That is Saracens in a nutshell.
And if it is to be close, they are the kind of moments that can actually win cup ties.
All right. No, not just water. If you could bring water, thanks.
He's now his club's leading point scorer in this competition. Age of 21, overtaken Glenn Jackson, past the 200-point mark. Owen Farrell, so many records await this man. But they are for another day. Today, all about progress in the Heineken Cup. Trying to take Saracens to their second semi-final in their history, and they lead 6-3, immediately cancelling out the Pienaar equaliser.
And there you see the third set piece, the restart. Ability for pressure opposition deep in their own territory. The chase is there, the hunger is there as well. You force the penalties, admittedly, you're 3 points back.
Great take there, I think it was Hargreaves. It's knock on, we'll have a scrum, and Ulster will put in. Mr. Hargreaves, that was tremendously athletic from the man from Durban, just like Brad Barrett.
Good claim. You keep your eyes on the ball, focused, and even under pressure from Trimble, you're there to make that take. Muller's there as well, and Hargreaves keeps his eye on that ball.
All right. Stay there.
Hargreaves playing for South Africa, unlike Barrett.
Crutch!
You see the magnitude of the occasion, though. And to the players as well, lots of errors out there, unforced, lad, some of them.
It's tense and it's tight. Was it ever going to be any different? Referee Roman Platt not afraid to give a penalty at the scrum. We all know that.
And as soon as Ulster concede 3 points direct from the kick-off, Saracens practically do exactly the same, all from the error from Joubert. Force that scrum, where Ulster really have a significant advantage at the moment. Good control, the drive is there, they drew out the penalty.
You could see there Arfoa working into Vunipola, who eventually just had to slip out.
Look at the power from John Arfoa. He might have spent 23 hours on a plane 48 hours ago to fly back home, but that's what Ulster wanted back from him. I don't know, you after 24 hours on the plane, I'm walking like the sleeping dead for at least a week, and he is playing a quarter-final of a Heineken Cup 48 hours later.
Well, Ulster saying if there's one man they could trust to act in the most professional way to do such a thing, it was John Arfoa.
You calling me unprofessional?
That's pretty professional from Rohan Pienaar, considering that he missed the first two. You wouldn't know it from his body language, as ever, absolutely spot on. And so too that man, and his technique as well at the scrum, John Arfoa.
And as a goal kicker, you love to reward your pack for giving you these kicking opportunities. And that's down to the hard work of the type.
Pencourt, man and ball. Discussion taking place involving plenty of the players. The officials have decided it's going to be a line-out.
Look at that possession, 89% to Ulster. Scoreline sits still 6-all. And once again, good field position yet again be conceded on the back of a restart.
Same like us, go quicker.
That'll frustrate both teams, and particularly both sets of coaching teams. As soon as you score, you do not allow the opposition to get back straight away.
Ulster's claim there that it came off a Saracens player. Officials didn't agree. Here's Borthwick. Combined well with Hargreaves, and now the rolling maul. Brits has it at the base of that maul. They've kept it going. And Muller, the captain, looks anxious. He's required again to run round quickly. 5 metres out now. First warning given by the referee to Saracens, but it's got moving again and isn't stopping. Wigglesworth actually wants to use it, but he'd be well advised to let this go. Saracens are over the line and they're claiming the first try of this quarter-final.
Eric, is there a reason why I cannot award a try?
And that is a key question, of course. And the Saracens' engine is a powerful one when it works as smoothly as it was working there. Will Fraser may well have scored this try.
I'm talking about one of the best lineouts in Europe. And that drive comes on. Plenty of numbers there. Plenty of communication. We can't see the ground in here. The question's been asked, any reason a try cannot be given.
A good aerial view there of number 7 Fraser going down on the ball. I presume, because we didn't see the ball, we might do from this angle.
No, he was passing the ball.
The key question, as you say, Ian, any reason why it can't be given?
The scrum, just to make sure about you bending, keep it when you got it, all right?
And we're not seeing a reason why it can't be given.
Nope, no reason at all.
Gone through Jackson. We know that is over the line because we saw that from the high angle.
Yeah, and I can't see anybody underneath him either, so I can't see any reason why that cannot be awarded. There's 7.
Well, he's not scoring it with his knees, is he? So over the line is Will Fraser here. And unless we can see that ball being dislodged and not grounded properly,
I think that's a try for Will Fraser.
Well, the Ulster players are all lined up behind their own try line, almost expecting, I think, a conversion here. Farrell standing over the ball. Saracens' teammates are in their own half, including try scorer Will Fraser. Eric Gozan will relay the news that it's a try. Will Fraser, a man who's been really catching the eye this season, and on his wrist there, the initials, brother Henry, of course, who opened the Allianz Stadium. Also brother Dom, a couple of weeks ago, was involved in the Dulwich side that won the Daily Mail Cup under 18, so quite a time for the Fraser family at the moment. And Farrell with the conversion, no mistake on his part, but there is still a doubt, and Ulster, I think, will feel it and will look again. Should it have been?
Well, it's a question
Saracens line out.
Yeah, whether that hit Earnshaw-Bear or not, we'll see from this pass from Janet Payne. Oh, that looked as if it came off Earnshaw-Bear. That line-out should never have happened. Should have been a scrum to Ulster way back there.
Oh, he was in.
Well, Payne was pretty convinced, and his arguments fell on deaf ears. The officials have made their call. So with that try and conversion, plus the earlier penalty when there was definitely more than a whiff of a forward pass.
Stay in front!
A couple of moments, scoring moments, that have gone Saracens' way. Williams.
Yazet!
Pienaar.
Stay 7, stop!
Nice cushion now, isn't it, for the Sarries? But they want to hold on to it before half-time.
Flat.
Yeah, that chase from David Trimble, a little bit laboured there. There's plenty of height in that kick. You've got to put more pressure on the catcher.
Williams coming forward again. Farrell does well. In goes Henry as well. But it's the other 7, Will Fraser, who's celebrating again. Another Saracens penalty, and we simply know that Farrell won't miss from there, even if it's on the angle. And put the kibosh on him, but he's so reliable.
It looks like Brits was taken out a little bit there, I think by Tom Court, I think. He turns around. Plenty of height on that kick. Yeah, I think Tom Court blocked him. I think Brits made the most of it, mind, but he's definitely taken out. But nevertheless, there's a penalty now, very easily within Farrell's kicking range. Feeling that press once again, that chase, that hunger and that chase, there in numbers to force the penalty. I think Tyler was talking about before the game about discipline in the key.
I will all the time. I will all the time. All right, but keep your head and nothing else like this. All right? Do you agree? Do you agree? Thank you.
I think Steve Borthwick might have met his match.
Won't get any change in a Roman Poit.
They're far from sitting on their lead or trying to get it through until half-time with that cushion. Saracens could be about to, should be about to, with Farrell the kicker, plump up the cushion very nicely before the interval. I suppose nothing is a given. I'm going to backtrack now just in case he misses. But he has become such a reliable kicker.
Back those 11 kicks against Racing Metro, 32 points.
We stay on the kicker just to make sure if there is a late tackle.
Nearly 10-metre line of the 22. Oh, didn't let you down. Doesn't let its side down, that's the point.
Mentally, such a tough player. Doesn't let mistakes phase him at all. We'll go back to the round, you know, poor day against Munster with a goal kick, came back, responded in the back-to-back games in the second game. He was as thick as kicks.
A bit more stand up for the Saracens than stand up for the Ulstermen at the moment.
Form inside, form inside. Once.
If ever a ground needed a terrace, it was today.
Those Ulster supporters need something to shout about, though. They need a moment of magic on some of these big players.
Trimble's done that before many times for Ulster. Pienaar. Henry. Top tackler in the competition before today. Equal with Dave Seymour. The Sale Sharks. Who got through a few in that pool. Alfoa. Just need that spark, Ulster, don't they? That injection of something. Henderson tries to get them moving over the gain line. Ball dropped.
There's been too many of those unforced errors. That's what's hurt Ulster.
And when you say that, you have to give credit to the Saracens' defence, which is right up in the face. And there goes Ashton. Another score for Saracens here, and it could be the 10-minute period that breaks the game. It really could. Vunipola through the hands. Now it might work for Ulster, and Jackson and Marshall. Luke Marshall trying to wrestle free to get some support. It's there now with Pienaar.
So often,
but it's a Saracens penalty.
Oh, well, I like it. So often there's a turnover conceded by Saracens, and immediately defenders circle around trying to rescue the situation. They're not prepared to give a yard to Ulster. Whenever there's even the slightest hint of a break, an opportunity to score, the great lasted defence the Saracens have. They all descend, they all trying to correct each other's errors constantly. Going to go out a loose pass from Vunipola there, and immediately there's a turnover. Look at the numbers of red jerseys coming back to fight themselves back in position, not prepared to allow an opportunity for Pienaar. When Pienaar makes a slight break again, in comes Brits. No respite at all, no opportunity to look up and make more of the break. everyone's always eager to put that hit in.
13 wins to start the season, Ulster, of course. 1.11 points clear in the Rabo. Seems a long time ago at the moment. Well, they said it would be 50-50 on the scoreboard, not necessarily the possession. Carries fairly even as well, but Saracens, well, they've got the big scoring moments, and part of that first half assessment has to be the fact some controversy involved in those scoring moments as well, not just the early penalty, but the try, not the scoring of the try itself. Sun setting on Twickenham. Saracens looking to return here in the semi-final, and at the moment they're pretty well placed for that. Nothing is done. Their supporters waving those flags quite happily at this stage, but knowing that in Ulster there is great spirit, great drive, and Mark Anscombe and his team in that dressing room will have said some pretty choice words, exactly how they want their side to come out fighting at the start of the second half. I don't think their fight actually can be doubted thus far. The moments have gone for Saracens, and they've taken advantage of those moments.
I don't two fully committed sides, and two sides that have shown a bit of ambition. One has shown just a bit more composure at key times than the other one have, and certainly you have to take the points when they're on offer. And then always going to be, you mentioned the fine margins, and a game with two evenly matched sides is always going to win the small little moments, and I think Ulster need one of those small little moments to go their way in this very early in the second half.
And they need to keep Farrell out of the game,
Inside.
because he can kick them out of the competition.
Hands away.
No changes made by either side at the interval.
Outside. Gazette.
Good chase from Trimble.
A great take as well, on the run.
Pienaar. Jackson. Hardly seen Darren Cave, certainly as an attacking force. Pienaar kicks very long there. And Wigglesworth.
7, 2, 1, away. Stay.
Gets decent length on his kick as well. Inviting Ulster to run it back. It's the boot at the end of Jarrod Payne, and his opposite number is Alex Good, who calls for the mark.
Good positioning from Good there, like a pendulum moving back and forwards at 15.
Thank you for your help.
Payne thought he found a gap. Oh, that's good. Closed it. There's Williams picking up and taking a drive, but the hit comes in. That's a great drive. Will Fraser once again, big hit. And this is a high kick, and this is what I say about Trimble, winger chasing. That ball's coming over his shoulder. That's the toughest catch to make. You can't see the ball. He's competing against Brits, and he wins that ball. That's the determination you want from a wing chasing these box kicks.
Chris Henry with that take.
Once.
And Roger Wilson on the bench. He pulled out of the original squad. Mike McComish going into cover there. Young back rower. Ashton.
Good claim by Ashton. You know, certainly trying to pepper the wings. He responded well, Ashton, that time.
There's to put in. Look to use Court and I suppose especially Arfoa again here.
I think a leaf out of Saracens' book in that first half. Chase is there, plenty of numbers forcing the turnover. Good high kick, kept his eye on the ball, but who's there? Williams is there, takes a knock for his troubles, but he's there, keeping Ashton on his feet. Williams and Best so good at the contact area there with Nick Williams, but it's Williams' strength, and he takes a couple of blows from it. He certainly takes one for the team there.
Clear positioning in the line out from 9 or 8.
No problem with his knee.
Thank you.
Nick Williams.
Key part of Ulster's game is carries, being able to get across the gain line. And we see more of it. And there's no point going wide earlier on because of that aggressive press by Saracens in midfield. Expect these big ball carriers. Just try and pull in defenders to allow the next phase to attack the holes. There aren't enough holes at the moment for Ulster. So well organised are Saracens defensively at the moment. It's just great scrambling defence as well.
Williams okay. He packs down there at the base, number 8. Inside flanker we see there, the blind side. Ian Henderson came on, scored a try last week. How Ulster would love to engineer one here at the start of the second half. Wigglesworth very quick on Williams again, and good work by Joubert. Oh, the appetite that Saracens have at the breakdown is immense.
I think that's so far behind. They've been a big difference as well as the goal kick and a foul, but their desperation at the breakdown to force turnovers, to force errors time. So look how much weight probably Wigglesworth is giving away to Nick Williams. Brings him down to the ground, and then was his number 8 to help him out and force the penalty.
It's the fact they break it down straight away. No chance for Williams to get any momentum there, and he thrives on that. And so do Ulster and his teammates all around him.
So they just don't allow teams time. You know, everyone wants time. When you've got time, you can make things happen. When you haven't got time, errors are forced.
Saracens looking like a team top of their domestic league. 5 wins in a row in that competition. They look confident. Ulster have got to try and knock that confidence somehow. Knock Saracens back in the challenge. Gilroy does well, skips away. Now this is what Gilroy loves.
That's what Ulster need as well, a bit of magic.
Jackson just wants to get it away from the danger zone. Caught by Good, no chance to make a mark there.
That's just outstanding positioning by Good to get back. He read that kick and started running before he was even boot the ball.
Jackson puts it back there. Brits fields that one. Wigglesworth indicates this is going high.
Away, 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 away.
It's Williams there again.
Backward.
Not clean from Williams, but it does not go forward. That's the key thing.
Hands away!
Pienaar. Again, it's towards that area of the field, popular area. Start of this second half, and Strettle kicks, and he decides the best place is the stand for that one.
But Ulster aren't finding the gaps, though. They're finding players back there, whether it's Strettle, whether it's Good. They're plugging the gaps. This is the kick downfield. This is what you want to see from Gilroy. Bad bounce, but he didn't panic. But the step, the strong step, beats the chase. Away you go. That's what Ulster want. And then the kick downfield, and the space seemingly there, but Good just reads it. That's he won from 15.
Sorry, a good win from Muller at the line out.
No, anything.
Foa.
Pick up and go from afar. That's what you want to see from Ulster. Try and pull in defenders.
Williams again. Nicely set that time to John Foa.
Yazat!
Williams once more trying to get away from Fraser and Brown. Jackson. Here comes Gilroy. Oh, he's through. No, says the referee. His way was cleared.
He prevented the tackle.
Illegally. Just for a second there, the Ulster fans were standing up out of their seats. They thought Gilroy had got away.
That'll frustrate Ulster, but also there was enough in those last periods of play to show how Ulster are going to be able to compete. They have to get these big ball carriers, taking out defenders, driving at the heart of Saracens, create then the openings for wider for the likes of Gilroy to hit. But that's what you want. You want a Foa, you want Nick Williams to carry, Henry to carry, pull in defenders, draw in all the defenders, and then that creates a little bit more openings, a little further out for Gilroy. That sounds a bit of obstruction, yes, but the principle and the theory should remain. It's exactly what Ulster need to do. Use these big ball carriers just to create that space.
And it was obstruction. Ulster fans will say, well, ironic the referee saw it. See the ones that mattered to us. suppose that's the nature of the game. Brits from another Saracens rolling ball led to their try. The only try of the match so far.
Driving maul is such a strong element of the Saracens game.
Again, Wigglesworth was calling for it, but he called for the last one, didn't he? And that went all the way. Referee playing advantage. It's a penalty. It'll surely be Farrell again. And this all-important first score of the second half looks set to be going Saracens' way.
Ulster seem to have no answer to this driving maul. The unity there, the communication is there as well, the technique. That takes months and months of practice to get that cohesion. It's just so important in a driving maul. Look at the talking going on. Everyone's there, everyone's probing for the weakness in the defence, the yardage gain as well. And this will be energy sapping for us and demoralising as well when you see Saracens hold on to the ball and making so much yardage. And once again, came from that line-out. Line-out is such a big part of Saracens' game.
Great work by Brits there, looking left, looking right. If he was crossing the road, such was his diligence. Paul Gustard was saying in the week he's never actually seen a player quite like Brits before in the game of rugby. Is the complete package as a hooker. Of course, that famous step. But part of Brits' ability is to play well in the tight too. And we saw it perfectly there, and it created Farrell's latest 3 points.
I read an article in one of the papers this week where he talks about it as a part of the game you have to develop. When he started playing rugby in the Premiership in Europe, he had to work on his set-piece workbook and the scrum on the line as well. He knew he was a gifted runner, he knew he had ability to beat people out there, but he also, as a hooker, had to concentrate on the fundamentals, both the scrum and the line-out. And he certainly was in charge of that driving line-out.
Because he was man of the match when Saracens won the Premiership here a couple of seasons ago. Wigglesworth. Well, that scoreboard does look a big problem to Ulster. Payne out wide. Gilroy looks to go again. Williams held by Kelly Brown, the industrious Brown. And his debut in this competition 7 years ago for the Borders side.
Quinn's disrupting the ball there. There's no quality ball from the phase play at all for Rowan Pienaar.
Pienaar trying to send Marshall down the middle. Wigglesworth touched that. It's a knock-on. Here's Tui. Got it away well. Supported by Trimble. That's Pienaar. Hands from Cave there.
Advantage over!
There's Tui again. Jackson. Here's Marshall. In comes Tompkins.
No hands!
Great tackle by Tompkins there. Read that.
It is incredible defence, and Ulster are going to have to find a way around it or throw it. Flag goes up.
Saracens' defence was simply outstanding at times. They're just not prepared to allow any clear openings for Ulster. Hunting him down. And even here, Payne looking to get that ball out wide. Ashton gets back in time. Once again, they're not committing anybody to the breakdown. They were right there waiting for the next phase. Good offload there by Tui. And again, the red and black jerseys are there in numbers. Again, this is in comes Tompkins. Read that all the way. Very firm, very aggressive. Andy Good. Alex Good getting in on it as well on a Henderson. But again, look at the numbers. As soon as they sense an opportunity to turn over the ball, bring an end to movement, they're in there descending in their droves.
Got the chains out. And shackling Ulster at the moment. See, Neil de Kock has come on for Richard Wigglesworth at scrum half. It's gone forward, clearly forward. Again, that won't be lost on the Ulster supporters in view of how Saracens got their first score of the afternoon. So Neil de Kock coming on, man who captained Saracens in their only previous semi-final in this competition 5 years ago. Side that included Kevin Sorrell, Paul Gustard, of course now part of the coaching setup. Richard Hill too, backroom with Saracens now.
What a giant of a player, Richard Hill as well. Good box kick. Great claim by Trimble. Again, moves the ball away quickly. And that pass should have been, you should have found no reason for that. That was a poor error. Under no real pressure. You've got to take these opportunities.
Neil de Kock out to Farrell. Half charge down, nearly came to Marshall, but Barrett responded well. Just pinging around there, and Pienaar picks it up, and then he's stolen by Farrell. Worked that one out, Romain Poit. And as he does that and holds out an arm Ulster's way, we go to Dean.
A lot of talk about Saracens' defence, but Ulster's attack is poor. You look at Jackson, he uses a dummy runner. Look how far Marshall's behind. Now, they're asking no questions of Tompkins at all. He sees him, I've got all the time in the world, I just step out and take it. So Ulster really haven't got that coherent shape that we're so used to seeing.
Just wonder, don't you, about the bench and who's there. Tommy Bowe, of course, hasn't played since injuring that knee against Northampton in the home game, the defeat.
Tackles made 41 in the first half, 24 in the second half by Saracens. Of course, a 6 by Ulster. Ulster haven't been able to get away from the shackles of this smothering Saracens defence. And yet, perhaps they're not asking enough questions. Perhaps Paddy Jackson really needs to take that ball all the way to the gain line. That's where he's at his most effective.
Still winning penalties at the scrum, though. That Pienaar can take play to there. Of course, Paul Marshall's on the bench as well, can really add some zip. With Pienaar moving to 10 and Marshall coming on at 9. It's a ploy that Ulster have used before. John Ofoa, man, they've used plenty in this match to engineer chances.
Power is certainly there in the scrum, but they're not winning enough quick ball from the breakdown. When they get into the phase play, it slows it down, and that's when defences really are in control.
Chances, not really quarter chances, let alone half chances.
7 away! 7 away!
Saracens get the ball again.
Step, step!
Saracens line out Ulster's scrum, as Dean pointed out at half-time. Trimble. Payne beating the first man, who was Farrell. That's a feather in his cap. Pienaar. Henderson needs to hold on to that until the support arrives. He does. Pienaar again to Jackson. Marshall. Again, the ball dislodged. It was Brad Barrett. And inevitably, when you talk about the power of a size defence that involves Barrett, you have to put him right at the top of the conclusions when you're considering the key men. But here's Henderson showing the fight that Ulster need to show now, trailing by 13 points in this quarter-final. That's a fine carry, and here's Pienaar out to Jackson. They're going wide. Is there enough space for Payne? On to Trimble. Ulster know this is the time in their game where they have to find their game. Got a penalty.
14.
Chris Ashton, the man who's been penalised by Romain Poit. What a fine run this was from Henderson.
And great feet as well. Great feet initially from beating Brits, and then the strength and the leg drive to go beyond the next tackle. Great feet. Outstanding feet for a big man to beat Brits as comfortable as that. Then shrugs off Fraser and just powers past player after player. That's better from Ulster. That's what Ulster need. These big ball carriers get beyond the first tackle. They have to do that to create any sort of pressure on Saracens' defence. So often the Saris' first-line defence has stopped any attack. They have to get beyond that first tackle, and that then creates the problems and creates the penalty opportunities as well.
Ulster showing that they're not pressing any panic buttons at the moment. It's a simple 3 points that Pienaar takes to reduce the deficit to 10. Still plenty of time here. Saracens making another change. Rhys Gill is coming on. Join their front row, and it's Mako Vunipola who departs.
Time off, 5 black.
Now go back to the restart now. Can Ulster secure possession here and not allow a penalty for Farrell?
Mo Both is coming on as well. Another international, Gill of Wales and both of England. Another international leaves in Alistair Hargreaves. Trimble with the catch.
Inside.
Caught by Kelly Brown, the omnipresent Kelly Brown. Into double figures now, his own personal tackle count.
What a great work ethic Kelly Brown's got.
That's why it fits him so well with this club.
Sorry.
Farrell, little chip in behind. Payne watchful with the bounce.
But again, Saracens won't mind that ball going a touch either,
the winger,
because they know they can put
and there is
pressure
a
on the Ulster line out.
box kick, because I have a doubt, I'm not sure about the...
What about territory as well? We go to the final 20 minutes of this game.
Tommy Bowe is stripped off as we watch the Farrell chip again, and Payne just realising on a bounce like that, can't really take the risk. Ulster fans have seen Bowe coming on. Back ahead of schedule. Been looking really good in training this week. And he's got over a quarter of the match to help salvage this cup tie. And he looks to get straight in it as well. But it's Brits.
2-on-2, hooker on hooker, best tackling Brits.
Oh, this could really hurt Ulster, this penalty. It's a long way out, but we know that Farrell will be interested.
Yeah, good ball at the end, won by Henderson. High kick goes up. Bowe's there, but Brits beautifully claimed, went up high, kept his eyes on the ball. When you go up for those, you've got to show conviction when you go and collect those high kicks, because you know it under pressure. And even with Rory Best on his back, penalty then came for Saracens. That's not what Ulster would have wanted. After closing the gap back to 10 points, now to give away another kickable penalty. For a man of the moment, doesn't look like missing. Owen Farrell.
Clock has stopped. If this goes over, Ulster will wish it will permanently stop. And of course, in their minds, it will start to race.
Decision.
Yeah, look at those penalties conceded. So many of them within kickable distance. And when you have someone, you know, Ulster talked to him. They talked about Mark Anscombe going into this game, talked about discipline being an issue, conceding a lot of penalties against Leinster last week, got away with it. You're not going to get away with it, someone of Farrell's kicking ability. And for a side that thrive on 3 points by 3 points by 3 points, that's how Saracens win games.
Well, there's a worry for Saracens and their fans as Scope Brits limps away. I'll be desperately hoping that is not too serious. Brits, of course, will be a key player for them if it does become a semi-final, and then they will hope a final, either in the Premiership, I'm sure it will be, and probably a home one in that competition as well. Shooting for a home country semi-final in the Heineken Cup. The Brits injured. John Smith comes on. There's experience for you to replace an injured man. Farrell's kick, oh, look at that. Owen Farrell, simply now, one of the best in the world.
6 from 6. Oh, that came from the penalty conceded, and he looked at him. Brits went on over in his ankle there, and as he'd been tackled by Rory Best for the penalty being conceded. A little bit of a grimace there. He smiles on Saracens' faces when they say Owen Farrell nailed another 3 points.
A bittersweet moment for Saracens, injury to Brits, but the 3 points for Farrell. Gilroy takes on Ashton.
Get back!
It's Chris Henry. Frustrating Six Nations for him, some bench duty. He really got the chance to show that he could push for the Lions. I understand this competition, really, both of these sides. There's high-end games to keep those claims going on that front, but can't afford to think in those terms. Not now in the heat of the battle. I'm sure they're not. There's Rory Best, well beyond that plane, of course. Trimble. Pienaar. Plenty of ball here for Ulster. Can they do something with it? Pienaar again. There goes Jackson. Another tackle, this time from Tompkins. How strong has that combination been, Barrett and Tompkins?
Tompkins are an impressive game. Barrett, always though defensively very strong. Tompkins, it's often a bit more on attack as well. You know, very good game today.
Here came Rory Best. Pienaar. Payne to Arfoa. Doesn't really want to find himself in the wing position. Of course, he's strong enough to make sure touchline was never going to be a problem. There goes Tui.
They're not committing anybody to the breakdown. There's a line of defensive jerseys there.
And it's working, and in goes Gill. Neil de Kock. Back to Farrell. And he just says to Ulster, now come from deep. Do it from there if you can. You couldn't do it in our half, so you're not going to really do it from just outside your own 22. And Alex Good is starting to counter here. Haven't really seen that in the game to date. Good coming forward in that style, but Saracens showing that they feel it's time now to go and win it. Ashton going on the outside. Chris Ashton is about to win it. The semi-final beckons. Ashton rediscovers his scoring form, his tracking line, and the line now for Saracens is pointing to that semi-final.
Once again, down to the Saracens' defence. They're not prepared to allow Ulster to cross that game line. Playing too often behind the game line. The press is there. The turnover was forced upon that. Then Good takes the right moment to counter-attack when the kick was loose on the halfway line. That's a great position to counter-attack. And then lovely inside pass from Brad Barrett. Again, he could have passed back to himself. He fancied that. He knew he had the speed to score. But down to the great defence and a lovely tracking angle on the inside by Chris Ashton to score.
And it was always going to be the splash today, should the chance come along. Barrett was screaming for it, but Ashton, as you say, Ian, totally and utterly backed himself. That hasn't always been the case of late. There's been some obvious doubt there, but Chris Ashton returns to Twickenham in Saracens colours and delivers a high-class finish, and Farrell looks to make it 7 from 7.
Yeah, Saracens this week, there are pays to point out, to trying to boost Chris Ashton's confidence.
A blemish on the Farrell record, interestingly, when it might not matter. Front line, Dean Ryan.
I've been waiting so long for Ashton to pick up that inside line, and the pace of the game's just getting faster. Muller just gets pulled away from the ruck, and there's just nobody inside, and suddenly Ashton's out behind, and that's the pace we've been waiting to see.
Johan Muller's had to leave, captain gone, inspirational figure. And now out of the match, Dyke is on. Bow trying to get into the match and nearly did with a volley there over the top. And Ashton might have been facing a situation when there was nothing that he could do. But there's certainly something that he did a moment ago. And that was score the second try of the match. And what looks like now being the winning score, regardless of the misconversion.
Yeah, look at the carries, they'll 79 carries, but very rarely are they crossing the gain line. And then what happens is Saracens aren't committing anybody to the breakdown. And then there's plenty of numbers there for the next phase of play, which is invariably a slow one.
Rory, you take the captain positioning.
Yeah, look, not committing anybody to the breakdown at all. Very few players in. And again, the tackle goes in, nobody in, they're scanning, no one's diving in, everyone's standing out. A full line, defensive line, the press comes on again. Once again, nobody going into the breakdown. Ulster are committing 2 or 3 plays in, trying to win it. Once again, and then the press, they feed in off that, energy there, the slow ball, they keep that defensive press. speed is coming up in Ulster's faces. They can't get over the gain line.
Chris Wiles is on, and David Strettle is off. Wiles, who scored in 3 of the pool games. One defeat in the pool stages was in the away game at Thomond Park against Munster. Of course, a ground where Ulster won in the quarter-final last season, but there's more Saracens ball on the Ulster throw. Best delivers and Borthwick takes.
It's been a tale of woe generally in the line-out for Ulster. And a triumph for Sarries in that aspect. Really has been a tough day for them in the office.
And Bow is put on the floor. Jackson.
You stay in front.
Marshall.
Too. Stop.
First game back, he'll be feeling it now.
Sorry.
I'm sure the rest of his teammates are as well. As Good puts it out. Another take here. Best throws, but it's Borthwick who's read it.
Such a top-notch line-out, Saracens. Great at pinching opposition ball, and that gives you a big advantage. There might be an pressure in the scrum, but the line-out certainly going their way. Will Fraser, for me, has had an excellent game. Big tackles, very physical, great in the breakdown as well. But he just typifies the Saracens' ruthless approach today.
When it comes from Dyack. Williams goes on. Oh, that is strong, really strong. And he's got great support from Henry. Maybe Ulster still have something to say, but it's got to happen now. They know that. And Gilroy carries inside the Saracens 22. Pienaar. The tackle from Brown. But it's Henderson and Pienaar again. And Jackson and Bow. It's a big ask for him to look like the old Tommy Bow straight away. First game back since December. Marshall.
It's a remarkable achievement for him being on the field, Miles. What a recovery.
And a great testament too also to the conditioning staff at Ulster. And here is Bow, looking in pretty good condition. Down goes Ashton.
Didn't touch the ball.
Here's Henry. It feels like the last throw of the dice, doesn't it?
But they're getting over the gain line, and that's the key part. They're missing in the Ulster. Got to get over the gain line.
Tom Court. Stevens rolling and rumbling all over the ball there to slow it down. Jackson, crossfield kick with fingers crossed as well. We'll hope that Trimble can make it. He did, but he knocked on. And the referee was already playing an advantage anyway.
A good quality line-out ball. And what does that do? It allows the big men to carry into midfield. All about part of the game's been missing for us. Getting over the gain line, but also a quality line-out ball that allows the big men to get into midfield and cross the gain line. And then when you have Nick Williams running at full tilt, being able to offload to Henry as well, that's what Ulster have been missing. But to do that, you need the line-out to be able to launch these big guys at full tilt at the opposition.
Do you need a...
Well, it's Luke Marshall down on the floor at the moment. He really has been battered and bruised of late. He's coming back from a concussion, so he's getting treatment, but he's sitting up again now, which is good news. We should also tell you the attendance today. And have Saracens broken the record? Yes, they have. The previous record for a UK quarter-final in the Heineken Cup was 37,881. So they've just done it.
Can we thank the seven people who turned up?
I think that's my family and friends, actually. But here comes Luke Marshall, which is really good news, in that he's upright. We hope that the injury itself is, again, not a serious one. Sentiments that went with Scott Brits before. And he's replaced by Stuart Olding.
Two guys, both Olding and Luke Marshall, bright futures, talented young players. And they like that, even though we look at Ulster and we talk about the influx of the foreign talent. It's there to supplement the indigenous local talent is there as well. You look at their side, the likes of Luke Marshall, Craig Gilroy, Paddy Jackson. That's what it's about as well. Ian Henderson producing that young talent as well and supplementing with some of the best overseas talent. Good to see the likes of Luke Marshall out in the field. I think he's got a bright future ahead of him.
Ulster lose the ball again at the line-out. Impossible to win a game of this nature without that sort of platform to your game, although they've gone very well at the scrum. Of course, the line-out has been the way the game has been restarted most times today, and it's gone wrong for last year's runner-up.
Yeah, also, even though they lost for one or two others, have been disrupted as well of the ones they've won. But 5 yards from the opposition line, you have to be able to secure that. It really has been a tale of woe for Ulster today, and really seriously hampered their ability to get across that gain line. You need that good quality ball off the top.
Crutch! Touch! Set!
Of course, you missed a line on the attendance, didn't you, when I said family and friends making a difference? You should have said, you've got that many friends.
Oh, you got a big family though, Miles. I didn't think there were many friends there.
Twickenham holds some good memories for Saracens. And it will feel pretty good today, and they will hope that it will feel very good come semi-final day as well, because that's what they're going to have. Certainly if they can clear their lines here, which they will.
Yeah, that was an opportunity there. Put real pressure on the Saracens scrum by Ulster. The line-out hasn't gone well, but the scrum has. But even then, the penalty doesn't go their way. With a visit to the 22, 6 visits for Saracens, 21 points. 5 times Ulster have got into Saracens 22 and come away with 6 points. That's simply not enough. You have to take the points when they're on offer. You know, a couple of missed penalty goals by Rome Pena as well. But they haven't really created that many clear-cut chances as well. And that's the smothering defence that Saracens, they don't allow. Even the briefest glimpse of an opportunity, they close it very quickly.
Looks like the disruption of injuries and international calls, which caused Ulster's season to lose so much momentum. That 1 win in 5 Rabo games before last weekend, and that victory, and it's picked up again here. That kind of loss of momentum, is that the right way of putting it? Maybe should look at it the other way. They've stalled again.
Well, desperate trying to get some tempo going there. Didn't really. No. Really, even though Saracens hadn't really gone back 10 yards, they didn't really have an impact on Pina's ability to tap that ball into his hands on the forward pass. That's, well, you know, talk about last throw of the dice, 71 minutes. They have to score now, but it seems a forlorn chase now. 27-9 up. Saracens looking rather comfortable.
History shows that away wins the quarter-final stage. Not that common. Around about a quarter of quarter-finals have gone the way of the away side. 2 last year, of course. One of them an Ulster win. Clermont 2. Home winner in Clermont today. Home winner in Saracens to follow as well. Wonder what tomorrow will hold in store. Harlequins at home to Munster and Toulon at home to Leicester, and that one will really interest the Saracens because, of course, they play the winner of that tie in France tomorrow here at Twickenham, and I think we can start to talk in those terms. 8 minutes left. But such has been the Saracens' defensive effort, and such is the disparity on the scoreboard now, that you feel this is done. Saracens just seem to know the way to get there in comparison to last season, when maybe at this level they didn't. Of course, they've not run into Clermont-Auvergne, who were breathtaking at Vicarage Road, but they moved on, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, but Clermont-Auvergne are probably the benchmark team this year. They lost out physically to them, and they've looked to try and work on that element of the game, get out muscle at the top level. They've tried to work on that. Whether or not it's going to be enough when they come in the next round remains to be seen, but they're certainly working on elements in the game to make sure they are competitive and they can compete against the elite teams.
Well, Ulster knew how to get to the final last year, and they're trying to get to that try line now with Bow and Dyack combining. The old friends David Humphreys and Mark McCall. It'll be Mark McCall smiling tonight. Won't derive too much pleasure from it, knocking Ulster out, of course, but his thoughts and feelings professionally 100% with Saracens. Ulster will get the scrum, but they've got very little else, and just the 3 points to show in this second half.
One white.
Jackson Ray is coming on to replace Will Fraser, and also Callum Black as well coming on in the front row for Ulster. Jan.
Well, looking at Will Fraser, he has had an exceptional game and pretty much exemplified what Saracens is about. His hunger on the field, took a try, and question whether the line-up should ever happen. But my Heineken man of the match is Will Fraser. But he's happened around the field, his work at the breakdown, his tackle, big hits as well. He, for me, has been exactly what Saracens has been about today. Really been ruthlessly efficient all over the field. Great work ethic, and even right at the end, 7 minutes from the end, he's still putting the big hits in as well. So my Heineken man of the match is Will Fraser.
The side's first try score, and what an important score that was.
Touch!
Just gave Saracens that extra belief if they required it, and that is an if. Came at a lovely time for them. There's Olding. He's got a great future in front of him. He's shown that already in the Pro 12 games that he's been exposed in. And he's exposed others. That try against Treviso was a beauty. Henderson stopped in his tracks.
The game today was always going to go the physical exchanges, and generally Saracens had a big advantage in those areas. 3 miles.
Done by Williams. That was a defiant moment, wasn't it? Henderson again showing that level of defiance too. Henry's lost it, both up. Referee wants a penalty and maybe a little bit more here.
2-minute infringement on the ground, 3 dive.
I think an accumulation of penalties being conceded now by Saracens. Been so good at slowing down the Ulster ball today. One of the players that's been able to get across the game line. We've seen Henderson do it once or twice, but generally Nick Williams.
Again, plenty of Ulster ball, but that hasn't worried Saracens. In fact, you almost feel like it's played into their hands. They've caused the error, just like they did with the Ashton try. Repeated efforts from Ulster to break it down, couldn't, and then suddenly Saracens went through the gears, realising that Ulster were a little bit stretched, a little bit tired. Pienaar to Alfoa. His best. Well, that's a good line from Tommy Bow. There are 2 moments here from Bow that suggest that he can have a strong end to the season.
And will certainly come into the Lions' talk, and that is no doubt.
In or out of the Heineken Cup. That's gone forward. The Saracens fans love it, and so do the players. Those defensive efforts are being rewarded.
That's 115 tackles or so, but that's what Tommy Bow will do. Great running angles. It's one of his big strengths. He's a great reader of running angles. Knows, holds his depth, picks his timing exceptionally well, and will certainly come into the reckoning. I mentioned about a Lions winger. He's a proven test performer at Lions level.
He's also got an awful lot in the bank. Chris Ashton went to the cash point today as well, didn't he?
He certainly recovered a bit of lost ground today. There's a happy young man, Will Fraser. It's an exceptional game. Tompkins has also gone well for me, as has Barrett in midfield. Obviously foul with his kicking ability. Borthwick in the line out, Hargreaves as well, but Will Fraser for me has exemplified what the Saracens' performance today has been all about. That hunger, that relentless chase and press, work of the breakdown, and physically pretty much dominant in the breakdown.
And when we're talking about summer tour, surely Argentina awaits for Will Fraser. What an opportunity he will have to impress Stuart Lancaster on that tour.
Well, you think of England's also got the likes of Kwesic coming through as well. You know, there's plenty of options for the England management team and open side flanker.
Just got a bit messy, that scrum. Even Roman Poit couldn't decipher that particular collapse. Left that one to the players to sort out and get him off the floor.
I think also at 76 minutes he couldn't be bothered either.
The Saracens have been bothered. I think it's 7 different home venues they've used in this nomadic season before finding their home in Hendon, the new Allianz Stadium, and they've won at them all. Twickenham included, of course, against London Irish, that game I mentioned right at the start. The commentary right at the start of the season. Matt Stevens goes off. Petrus Duplessis comes on. With Hodgson out there as well, there he is. That's the whole of the Saracens bench used. And it's a good bench, and you need a good bench to go a long way in this competition, and Saracens are doing that. They're going a long way. Here's Gilroy, tackled by Barrett.
They've been everywhere, on the back of yet another line-out steal as well.
Payne, up comes Ashton, good decision. Committed himself, takes Olding. 3 Ulster players, I think, to the left of Olding, but he couldn't use them because of Ashton's presence. Jackson Ray goes after his man. And there's the keenness of a player coming off the bench, and also knowing that Jacques Berger is returning to full fitness. Another player that Saracens can bring into the mix as this season goes on. Bow inside to Best, and it's going to be another disappointing day for Ulster at Twickenham. The spirit of Thomond Park has been there from last season, that quarter-final, but not the skill and execution today. And that, in part, because of what Saracens have offered, of course.
There's one man there, Nick Williams, who's given everything today, man. He's been the one man look capable of beating this Saracens defence.
Payne to Trimble, Trimble trying to come away. There is no such thing as a consolation in professional sport. But Ulster at least trying to give their supporters something to cheer about, or half cheer, right at the end of this match. There goes Olding showing his skill, his stepping skill. He did that to Treviso. There's Pienaar and Tui. Just as we were talking about the spirit of Thomond Park, it has not deserted this Ulster side, not one bit. Olding once more, gets it out to Henderson, thinks about the pass, Henderson goes through to score. And you know what, that will really, really hurt Saracens, because they will have been so proud about their defensive performance today, as much as any other aspect of their game. But there was an awful lot of pride in that score from the Ulster perspective, and those fans do get a half cheer for that try from Ian Henderson. Spirit personified.
Yeah, and you wouldn't expect anybody who's capable of getting the quarter-final of the Heineken Cup to give up at any stage of the game, regardless of whether they're about to lose it or not. Great feat by Olding, and that's what really has impressed me from Olding. And he's had the opportunity, his ability, he's light on the feet. You have to be able to step in the modern game just to get away from these big hits. And once again, those quick feet just got him away from defenders to allow Henderson to score out wide. But don't expect a high-quality team to give up at any stage of the match.
And there, rather ironically, the successful conversion. I'm just trying to do the maths on the points that maybe shouldn't have been. But that is a debate that may run in the Ulster dressing room. It won't run in the Saracens dressing room at all. For them, it will be Twickenham again for the semi-final, as Saracens go to that stage of the competition for only the second time in their history. But they are so much better equipped